you know, the people in this room, I know you guys you care about this country, you're concerned, you're impacted by the things which are now unfolding in this country. All of us are in this country, but many of our fellow Americans, they're going to say, I don't care, or I don't want to get involved, don't they? Those who take that attitude, I'm not God, so this wish is not going to prevail, but if I were God, or if I was one person, if I was the tooth fairy, and I could make one wish and this wish would come true when you work that way. This won't happen, but my one wish would be these people who are ignorant and apathetic, there's just one thing I don't want them to do. And I just don't want them to vote on election day. Please don't have your uninformed vote casting out my informed vote. That's the only request I'll make of you.
But you said it didn't count anyway.
It doesn't count anyway. My wishes don't count anyway, that's right. But you know, what's the old saying, you know, if ifs and buts from candy and nuts, we'd all have a
I
Merry
meant the
Christmas.
vote.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Look at last November.
Well, what I meant was the president, to vote for president. Like you said, it was already
Well, no, I'm not saying, no, I'm just telling you that, you know, I mentioned this Council on Foreign Relations, President Barack Obama, he's not a member of it. He's not a member of it. He doesn't need to be. He's willing to carry the water of these internationalists. Now, was Republican John McCain, was he a member of the Council on Foreign Relations? Yes.
What about Rush Limbaugh? You know, occasionally I hear him on the radio, and he has a lot of good stuff, but he will never mention that area.
What do you think that is?
Well, it's because he's covering up for the rhinos, is the only thing I can think of. The rhinos and the
Are you saying Rush Limbaugh, that Rush Limbaugh is a neoconservative?
He's not telling the truth. He's not telling the truth, the whole truth.
There are certain issues he doesn't touch, there's no doubt.
And that being one, you know, how many people have had their brain fried trying to figure out what is the reason for some of this stuff that's going on? You can't put an answer on it. Here's one of the most intelligent people around, Rush Limbaugh.
I think he is.
He is. And there he is, spitting it out. But he will not touch that area.
I'll tell you a story. I didn't witness this story. I believe the individual who told me. I believe the story, but I can't prove it to you. This is early 90s. Limbaugh was on a cruise. And this guy who had him cornered, I don't know if he was a Birch Society member or not, he knew about the Council on Foreign Relations. And this individual had his finger underneath Limbaugh's nose, and he said, you know about this conspiracy, the power of the Council on Foreign Relations, yet you don't talk about it on radio. Why don't you mention it on radio? And Limbaugh looked at this guy, and honestly, Limbaugh said, if I mentioned the CFR conspiracy stuff on radio, he said, I'd be off like that. I didn't witness this story, so you believe what you want, but I believe my source on this one. This was probably close to a decade ago. Bill O'Reilly eats breakfast. I had heard at a certain place in New Hampshire. Could that be New Hampshire? I'm a little fuzzy on the state. I think it's in New Hampshire. And this individual who knew him at this cafe went up to him and said, hey, why don't you mention the Council on Foreign Relations on your television show? And O'Reilly just looked at him, and with contempt, O'Reilly said, and jeopardize my seven-figure salary. See, these individuals, in my opinion, that they know the score, folks. I mean, these are not, like you said, these are not stupid men. They know the score. But, you know, all of us are going to be impacted by this. We know people who say, I don't want to get involved, or I don't care, and I'm just not going to get involved. But you know what? You're paying taxes. You are involved, aren't you? You are participating, not along the lines that you would like to, but you are participating. And it doesn't matter whether or not you want to get involved. You are involved, and you are impacted. And you know, for those of you who are Christians, I'll yank the tail a little bit on this, and I would encourage you to yank the tail of people who you know are also Christians who might be watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet to warn the people, and the sword comes and takes the life of one of them, I will hold the watchman accountable for his blood.
Amen.
So if we know, I mean, if we know